testing 1 2. December is the new Jan, bro, and that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you in this video, bro. Welcome to another video, and I just want to tell you right now through a story first. I want to give you a message today, but I want to start off with telling a story because I feel like that's just the best way to to capture your attention. I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the honest way. That's just me being honest. So here's a story, right? We're gonna talk about a man named Brad and another woman named, Brenda. So there's Brad and Brenda, right? The fact that they're male and female doesn't matter in this story. It's just they're just two characters. Let's just say they both have the same potential, equal opportunities. The thing is, right, when Brad entered December, he used December to unwind. He, went out with his friends, sleeping late. He was drinking on Fridays, probably sometimes on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays sometimes, and he was just having fun, living life, going with the wind, going with the flow of things. It's a holiday season, man, Merry Christmas. Brad ends up in January, and he now starts to think about all the things that he wants to get done, but he has to go back to work also because work is opening, and now he has so much going on in his mind. There's so much going on because there's payments that he has to make in January. There's the different obligations that he has for January. Now as Brenda looks at December, she gets in December and she also rests, right? She takes some time off, but she rests in a way that actually allows her body to refuel herself. So she sleeps on time, she eats right, she's not drinking, she's not out there, you know, partying and stuff, but she's still enjoying herself, spending quality time with family, friends, people closest to her. Come January, and Brenda is a little bit different because she used her time differently in December. She has a plan, and she's already entered January moving with that plan. And now, when she goes back to work, she's already working with alignment with who she's trying to become. When she goes back to paying all the bills and things of that nature, yes, the stress may be there, but the stress isn't necessarily clouding her mission, her purpose, where she wants to go, right? Brenda is kind of like more sober minded, more locked in than Brad, right? And why I'm telling this story is because I want you to think about this, man. Yes, December is a great time, festivity, presents, gifts, New Year, birthdays, but you can't use this time to just waste your life. And December has to be the new January. And I say that to say, not that you should, be very strict on your mission, goals, purpose. Maybe take some time off work and things of that nature. But you need to use December to prepare for the new year. 2026 is coming. You don't want to enter 2026 and still have to prepare for 2026. No, you come into 2026 already with some sort of momentum, right? So you yourself figure that out for yourself. How could I use December to kind of skyrocket my progress, to kind of make sure that I push further in whatever I have going on in 2026, so that I don't have to start to build momentum. I don't have to start getting the car moving in January, but we're already hitting 70, 80, 90 miles, kilometers per hour, and that's what I want to encourage you today. Looking at my own life, me personally, bro, I've done a lot of messed up stuff. I've partied a lot and things of that nature. Even this past November, I used it to like go crazy. And maybe you didn't have that privilege, right? You didn't have the privilege to kind of, do all the things that you wanted to do in November. And so you want to save that for December. But I'm going to tell you right now, bro, like, it's really not that worth it. If you do want to go crazy, now take that week, 2 weeks, but you need to. I want to encourage you to get into a mental space of how can I become a better version of myself in this December. Now, for me, for example, that's making these videos. That's making sure that I sleep on time. That's making sure that I flipping take care of my health, my physical health. I'm exercising, because when I was in school, I couldn't really exercise as much. I couldn't really focus on the things that really, really would bring growth to my life that as I wanted to. So I need to use this holiday season, right, to focus on the things that will bring growth, that will bring some sort of, progress. Maybe not even financially, but more spiritually, for example. So even with you, how could you, use this time to prepare yourself, not even prepare yourself, but to generate some sort of momentum so that going into January, you're at you're at a speed where you can speed up, but it's like you also not starting from the beginning, and maybe you don't know. So I want to give you a little tip on what you can begin doing to start to figure it out. And I want to say the tip is introspection, right? You need to start to look within, find yourself in terms of journal using methods like journaling and asking yourself questions. Maybe you talk to somebody, like go to therapy or something. But the goal of that is to basically learn more about yourself by looking within yourself. So, what would I be? I would probably be the most aligned with myself if I was exercising, or if I was lifting weights, or if I was powerlifting, right? The types of exercises, or if I was training for athleticism. But you wouldn't know that if you don't really know yourself. That's why you need to do some journaling, some introspective work. Now, how to journal? Literally take a piece of paper or take a book or take your phone notepad. But I prefer a book because you kind of connect better with the words. But take a book or something that you can write on and just write whatever comes to mind. Literally, literally use that paper as a brain dump and just dump everything there. Everything that comes to mind. I like turtles.
I like turtles.
If you like turtles and that just came up to your mind while you had that book out, write that. Because I want to teach you how to be somebody who is self aware. Now, self awareness isn't necessarily a bad thing because everybody has a different purpose, everybody has a different life mission that they have to accomplish. And you're only going to know your mission if you are honest and true with yourself. That's why introspective work and this type of work in terms of self-awareness is good. So take a journal, write, and then start asking yourself things like why do I think this way, why do I believe this way, and then you're gonna start maybe going into topics of your goals, which is in relation correlation to this video, the December, January. So you start to go in towards like, okay, my goals for December. Why are these my goals for December? Why are these my goals in general? Why do I want to achieve this in general? Right? And then you're gonna start to realize, I actually want to prioritize this in my life. There's no such thing as priorities. There's mainly just one priority in your life, and then everything else just falls under that. So you're gonna be able to think to yourself, I'm gonna be the happiest, the most fulfilled in my life if I focus on this. And then now you start to structure your whole life system around that priority goal, especially in December, because you have so much free time and you can really focus in and zone in on things that don't really produce that much result right now, but they will in future. You still, this is your chance. This is your chance, literally. So do that. So for me, right, making these videos, being a better, being a better son in the house. I'm back home right now. So being a better child in the house, being a better brother, being a better son for my parents. You know what I mean? So it's like, even though those don't necessarily produce the biggest results, they do cause some sort of inner fulfillment, inner alignment that will end up to you leading, that will end up to you fulfilling your purpose, or at least finding some sort of inner fulfillment in whatever you're doing. Maybe you feel like what you've been doing this year isn't something that was really true or in line with who you are or who you want to be, but you don't really know exactly what you should do. That's why you need to do the journaling, the introspective work, the to practice self-awareness so that you can understand, oh, this is for me and this isn't for me. Because we have friends, right? And a lot of us, we use our friends to kind of guide where we should be going also with life. But sometimes, the road kind of splits apart a little bit, and your friend's purpose is a little bit more to that side and yours is a little bit more to that side. And the only way you'll know that though is if you kind of you know become self-aware and realize that, oh wait, my friend is going in this direction, and if I went with him, I wouldn't be exactly the most aligned. So let me look within. Introspection. Journaling. Self-awareness. Okay, I think my friend is going into marketing. He's going into, but I think I'm going to sales. So I'm not going to sales. But if you didn't know that, if you didn't do the introspective work, you would have been like, nah, hey, let me also go into marketing because you're not sure of yourself. So you do this introspective work to be sure of yourself. Use December to become sure of yourself, to become sure of who you want to be and where you want to go. If this is your festive season time to, relax and unwind. So rather than going out, which is nice, rather than doing all that stuff, which there's a time for it. Use this time to find proper alignment. Going out and stuff, the problem with it is if you do it too much, you can start to lose a sense of yourself, and that's a whole story for another day. I hope this video helped you, and I hope it sparked some sort of curiosity or some sort of like, man, I need to do something. Have a great day, man. I believe in you.